The other day I was with a friend and I was talking to them. Mm, This friend in particular, he's a guitarist. He's been playing for about a year, and he was showing me. It was just we were sitting there chatting, and he was there playing guitar next to me. And he sort of encouraged me to get back into guitar. See, I have played guitar in the past, and I I played it like a couple years back, like 5 years ago. I started, and then I sort of stopped a couple years ago because I just stopped. Seems to be something that a lot of people experience. They just stop doing something. Like I know a lot of people that have played instruments in the past, and they've just all of a sudden just stopped because they can't be bothered. But I think the main thing is we just spend our time in other areas, mainly social media. I'm not going to get into that today, but I think that is where most of our time goes. So I think without it, you have all your time to do all the hobbies that you want to do. So I figured, why not? Since I don't have social media installed, and the holidays are starting, I decided to pick up my guitar, and I loved it. I spent an hour practicing a song that I've always wanted to play, Hotel California by the Eagles, and I loved it. And I can seriously see this becoming a hobby that I put some time into over the holidays. This is the thing, hobbies are so important to us as humans. If we work a normal job that we hate, hobbies are the only things that we do enjoy in our life. Hobbies are essential to our well-being. If we don't have hobbies, then our life feels empty and sad, especially if we aren't doing anything in terms of work or a project or anything. Sure, there might be periods in your life where you're focusing really hard and you're working on a goal and you don't have time to have fun and do hobbies and stuff. But for the rest of the time, hobbies are essential to just a standard life where you go to work and you come home. Hobbies are important because it means we're able to do something with our lives. We're able to stop consuming stuff and in place of it do something that we actually enjoy. Think about it. When's the last time you got home from work, sat on your phone and scrolled and actually enjoyed it? Because I'll be honest, sure you might enjoy a couple videos, but deep down you feel a deeper cooling, and you feel that this is just a way to kill time, because that's what it is. Most of the time when you're sat there on your bed after work or school and you're scrolling, you're just killing time. Instead, you could put that towards something you actually enjoy. So I'd like to make this clarification that you split hobbies into 4 different steps. There are 4 different hobby groups. Not steps, groups. I like to split these groups into the creative hobbies, the intellectual hobbies, fitness hobbies, and money-making hobbies. I like these groups because I think it's important to have one of each of these hobbies, because they're just important for yourself in building your character. and they're also just enjoyable. So, creative hobbies. Creative hobbies are the hobbies where you're making something. There's a wide range of creative hobbies. Plenty of them come to mind. The ones that come to mind for me are content creation, photography, art, painting, drawing, cooking, baking, playing an instrument. These hobbies are your creative hobbies because you're actually making something with them. And most of the time, you're making something for other people to see. These hobbies feel good because when you're making something for someone else, you feel a service towards them. You feel like the work you're doing actually deserves attention. And that is a great feeling, to work on something that you love and have other people enjoy it too. So that's why I believe creative hobbies are so essential to our well-being, because it allows us to get an actually deserved ego boost. It allows us to actually get validation that we deserve, not just because we did a post on Instagram. No, we actually did some work on something, so we deserve the validation, especially if it's good. And these hobbies, you'll probably find one of your favorite hobbies, because you can just sink hours into them, into perfecting your craft, because they're just so fun. These hobbies are. You might not be into painting, but you'll probably be into something else. You might be into playing an instrument instead. So just think of one hobby you can do for each section. You can do more if you want, but at least try and get one. Fitness hobbies are quite self-explanatory. They're the hobbies that keep you in shape. There are so many different things you can do as a hobby for fitness. You can play football, you can play rugby, you can do weightlifting, you can go running, you can do jiu-jitsu. You can do so many things in this fitness field. The thing is, with fitness, when there's so many options available, you just have to choose one. I'm not going to talk about the health benefits and everything, because you already know that fitness is good for you. But I'm going to talk about the social benefits of this. When you're doing a fitness hobby, such as weightlifting, or you're playing in a team sport or something, you build connections. When you're going to your training sessions every week, you get to know the people that you're training with and exercising with. And you'll often find that when you do this, you'll build some connections if you're actually looking for them. This way you can build friends from fitness. And this way you'll find like-minded people, because people that tend to do fitness tend to be healthy. And when you have healthy people around you, you're more likely to be healthy yourself. Fitness feels better when you do it with people you like spending time with. So finding a workout partner or just playing football with a mate, it makes it so much more enjoyable. You know, if you've ever gone and played sport with your mate, that it's so much fun, and you're literally just kicking a ball around or passing a ball around. It's so simple, but yeah, it's so much fun. Intellectual hobbies I find are a bit more of a varied sort of category. It's not only just seeking knowledge, but it's also applying knowledge. Some hobbies I can think of that would be considered intellectual be reading books on topics that interest you, playing chess, studying your philosophy, studying for school. Just those sort of things that use your brain. If you put time into studying and actively learning, your brain will have a stronger framework in place. However, the information you learn from study and reading and all these activities only matters if you actually use it. So we must look for ways to apply the knowledge that we learn. And these hobbies are essential for us to learn the things that we need to apply. We can often find that when we learn from this intellectual hobby, we're able to apply it to our creative hobby potentially, depending on what it is. You see, a lot of things I've learned from reading and studying philosophy and stuff like that have come through into my content creation, which is my creative hobby. So these hobbies do overlap, which is useful. Also, being able to have intellectual conversations with people, it's great. It's nice to be able to hold your own and have your own opinions and talk with other people that have such opinions. It also gives you a challenge to try and learn new things and teach someone else new things. It also means that we're not just having this mindless conversations where it's just small talk. We're having meaningful and interesting conversations. And you wouldn't be the first person to hate small talk. I think all of us secretly hate it. It's just we aren't bold enough to say it. These intellectual hobbies will make you a more interesting person. You don't need to be a neuroscientist to be intelligent. And being intelligent makes you interesting. As long as you don't rub it in other people's faces, you'll be more approachable because you're intelligent, yet you don't rub it in. You're sort of just there and you're open for a conversation if it's there. Now, money-making habits. I find that these habits tend to overlap with your creative habit. And money-making, most of the time, it's not going to work if you don't have a passion for it, especially if it's making money on your own. Those creative habits that make money tend to be the ones that work best for this. Because, let's be realistic, hardly anyone is going to have a real deep passion for buying stocks and trading crypto. You're going to have a real passion for your creative hobby. So if you can find a way to make money off of your creations, then that's just a win-win. You get to spend your time making what you love and you make money off of it. But not all creative hobbies are money-making habits for yourself. You see, for me, content creation, obviously there's quite easy ways to make money off of it. I mean, obviously it's not easy, but content creation can become a career. Whereas me playing guitar, I don't really see myself doing it for money. I see myself just playing guitar because I enjoy playing guitar. So you can have hobbies that you like, but you wouldn't do as a job. You'll probably know which hobby is the hobby you'd want to do as a career. Of course, you can do your fitness, one of your fitness hobbies can become a career. But as athletes are becoming fitter and fitter, you just have to realize that when you're trying to become a professional athlete, you have to basically spend every free moment training. So you have to be willing to do that to be able to compete and get to the top level. So that's just something you got to realize before you try and commit to becoming an athlete. But yeah, that can also become a money-making hobby, but it's obviously not as attainable as the creative hobbies. But it's still attainable if you go for it. And I encourage you to go for it if it's what truly calls you. Just do what you know you love. If you're obsessed with football, spend every moment possible playing football, and you will have a chance of making it. You are unlikely to succeed in making money if you don't actually enjoy what you're creating. If you don't actually enjoy making YouTube videos, then maybe it's not for you. If you don't enjoy playing a sport and you're just doing it because there's money there, why? Do the thing that you actually enjoy doing for money-making habits, hobbies, because it just makes it even more enjoyable. And it means that you'll be willing to take less money to do something that you actually enjoy if there's other opportunities on the table that might give you more money that you won't actually enjoy. So try and find at least one hobby in each of these 4 categories. I promise you that it will drastically improve your happiness. You can have multiple hobbies in each of these categories, but you probably know which one you care about the most. If you want to make that into a career, then you have to put time into it. If you're struggling to find hobbies, don't get disheartened. You might not find the right thing on the first try. But give the hobby a chance. Because sometimes the first time you do something is not going to be as fun as you think. But give it a good chance. Give it a couple of sessions. For example, if you go to the gym, your first gym session, you're probably not going to have the greatest time. You're probably going to be clueless about where you should go, what workouts you should do. So you're probably going to come out of the gym and be thinking, that was a waste of time. But you just have to keep trying. If you go into the gym after one session and you have a bad session, you call it quits there. You might be quitting on something that you would actually enjoy if you just figured out what you needed to do. So don't be afraid to try new things, but also don't be afraid to actually give them a chance, because sometimes you might not enjoy it the first time round. Don't be afraid to take your time and figure out what hobbies actually work for you. I love you all, and as always, stop consuming and go create.